Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this morning on a Sunday morning. Thank you so much to see everyone here. And obviously, before I talk about the gentleman sitting next to me, I just want to say that we are delighted to have the Challenger Series event here back in Chennai after four years, is it, Prem? After 4 years. So it's a special event. It's the largest prize money Challenger event there is, I think. 130,000 in prize money. So it's a bigger event than we used to have before, 4 years ago. Great opportunity, obviously, for all our Indian boys to be able to either come through the qualifying or using wildcards to play in the main draw. But we also see the standard of tennis that is so high today. It's incredible to see how close everyone is in the field. And frankly speaking, I was telling Prem and Hitan the other day, and Vivek, that it feels like a ATP 250, basically, the field here this time. So it is an open tournament. The seeds are there, obviously, by ranking, but obviously anyone can win. It's a perfect time of year to have our tournament for us in February. The problem is the calendar is such that it's pretty full. So we're delighted that we have a very strong field. My grateful thanks, obviously, first and foremost, to the government of Tamil Nadu. They constantly and consistently have helped us not just put these events together, but during the course of the year, they've always pushed us also to be able to do more and more and what else they can help us with. So it has been a tremendous help and support for us to be able to run these events and help with programs in Tamil Nadu. We had a couple of junior events, we've had UTR events, we've had events across the state. All have been extremely useful and successful. We want to do more and more in the state and encourage more kids from the district areas to come play our sport and not continuously lose them to other sports as well. So we're very, very keen on doing that, and the government is working closely with us to be able to do it. We're delighted to welcome our new sports minister as well, who's taken over in charge of all sports. His interest in sport and for us, particularly tennis, is immense. Needless to say, led by our Honorable Chief Minister. I want to say thank you to all our partners who have been great in joining us. ACT FiberNet, a connectivity partner, the Kaveri Hospital, a medical partner, and Chennai Live, digital app partner, and Realty Media, a content production partner. Needless to say, the spectators are allowed in for free. It's a daytime tournament, as we all know, because the weather is pretty good. I suppose a bit warm for the Europeans coming from Europe, but for all of us in Asia, this is a perfect time. I see people walking around with hoodies in the morning because it's too cold. Hoodies in the morning. Okay. So it's a delightful time to have a tournament here. It's nice to watch. It'll be great for the players as well. We hope they all have a healthy week, and we will definitely see some spectacular tennis, no question about it. So having said all of that, we have the qualifying that's already started, right? Today, that goes on today. Obviously, we hope that we get some of our Indians coming through the qualifying as well. It was interesting for me to see in the seeded list of the tournament that a young boy from Taipei is seeded 1, which says a lot for Asian tennis and where we are. And I think that's something that we need to take away from. And I'm going to talk about him for a minute because these are the inspiring moments that need to encourage our boys and girls to reach for the stars and see what is possible and what they're capable of doing. And reach for the impossible within themselves to be able to have that desire and the work ethic to be able to sacrifice all else to be able to do what can be achieved. So much for the tournament. I'm delighted to welcome my dear friend Bjorn here on his second visit to Chennai. He came 22 years ago, when he was young and I was young. And we had a day, he only had a day here at the time. We were playing a senior event in Bangalore. So I'm glad he's back. He's back with his lovely wife, Patricia. And his son is playing in the tournament, as you all know. A good youngster, 19 years of age. Got the right talent, the right physique to be able to play our sport. We hope he does well. But more than anything else, it is a true inspiration for each and every sporting athlete in the state and in this country to have a visit from someone like him. He's 11-time Grand Slam champion. The way he conducted himself at the time he was playing in the 70s, we've all seen. If you haven't seen it, you've seen it on television. If you haven't seen him live. But he conducted himself in a way where he just didn't win. He didn't win just big, but he made his family proud, he made his country proud, and he made all of us tennis players of his era proud to have played the game during the time he played. So we played our Wimbledons together, Opens together, and I was very fortunate, I've always said, to have played during the time of Bjorn and Connors. And it always reminds me when people ask me, are you upset that you're not playing at this time because the prize money is so great, and you know, if you had played the same kind of tennis, you would have made millions and millions and millions. I said, yes, well, it reminds me of that movie Troy, where the guy said, I lived during the time of Achilles. So I was fortunate to have played during the time of Bjorn. Well, one quick word about the record between Bjorn and me. Yep. Because here I'm always reminded of the match I lost. Well, we're not talking about that match. We're keeping it straight here. Bjorn and I played in 2 Grand Slams. We played twice in a Grand Slam, once at the Open, once at the US Open, and once at Wimbledon. I beat him at the Open in 5 sets. He beat me at Wimbledon in 5 sets. So that's just to set the record straight. But he was nice enough to remember yesterday when we were having dinner together that he actually remembered that. So it was nice to do that. But more than anything else, Bjorn, a very, very warm Tamil Nadu and India welcome to you to be with us here in Chennai. Thank you for making the visit. I'm glad you're here for the week. I'm glad you're here to watch your son playing, but more importantly, to see our lovely city and enjoy the hospitality of Tamil Nadu. And I'm so glad you brought Patricia with you.
Thank you, Vijay. First of all, I'm very happy to be back in India once again. Like Vijay said, I was here 20 years ago, and I always enjoyed India. It's people are nice, good food, very interesting country. So I'm very happy to be back and to get the invitation from Vijay, who is a very good friend of mine. We've been spending many, many years together, off the court and on the court, and he's a very dear friend of mine. And my wife, Patricia, she never been to India, so she was very happy to come because it was one of her biggest wishes to come and visit India, as many other people in the world too. So we had a great time. Vijay, talking about the matches we played in the past, it was great matches. We had 2 great matches at US Open and Wimbledon, and he was a big contender when it comes to playing matches, big tournaments. He was a great player, Vijay. No one really wanted to play him because they knew there's going to be a tough match. I mean, his record set for himself and beat all the players during the time we played. And I didn't like really to play Vijay because he was very tough to play, but we had some good matches, like you said. But once again, to be here in Chennai, back in Chennai, and to have the possibility to spend time with Vijay, to see the city once again, see my son play, and that would be a great thing, even if we are on holiday here to enjoy the country. But to be part of Chennai tennis once again, it's nice to have it for the federation and Vijay to the tournament to come back once again after 4 years. It's great for tennis, Indian tennis. I think maybe Indian tennis and Swedish tennis are struggling a little bit when it comes to have really top tennis players. But the work Vijay what he put into tennis to promote tennis in India, he's doing a great job. I'm trying to help Swedish tennis a lot in Sweden, and I think we are in the right direction, doing a lot of positive things for tennis, because it's the same. We live for tennis. I mean, it's been part of our life, and still, before we die, it's still going to be a very important issue for both of us. So, I mean, I arrived like 3 days ago, but we've been spending a lot of time together these 3 days, and we will this week too. But we've been talking about interesting things, what maybe we can do in India or Sweden or whatever regarding tennis. And I think that's important for both of us, and it's important for India and Sweden too when it comes to tennis. So once again, I'm very happy to be here and to see my friend here, and I will definitely enjoy the time being here in Chennai and Bangladesh. So I'm looking forward to these days. Thank you.
Okay, questions?
Bjorn, before you played Vijay, what did you think of this game? What are the strategies you had?
I think everybody knows he was one of the best grass court players. I mean, he grew up on the grass here in India. I mean, he had a game like he was very aggressive. He was a very aggressive player. And it was tough for all the rest of us to play him, because he was tough to beat. I mean, especially on grass, but even others, he could play on any kind of surface. But definitely the grass was, to play Vijay on grass, there was no one wanted really to do that. And I mean, just show his record on grass, but even other surfaces too. I mean, he was a tough player to beat. And we all knew that. The world knew that. And the rest of the best players in the world during that time when we played, they knew that too. So, and we played 4 times, and it was 2-2. Maybe I was lucky not to play more times. I don't know, but it was 2-2 is fine with me with DJ, so that was good.
Yeah. I mean, we have fond memories of your playing days. I still remember your encounter with John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors. We started with a wooden racket. I still remember things that. Would you have touched the same amount of success today? And which player in the current lot do you admire?
I think if I mean, our time, like Vijay said, I mean, there was a great time. I mean, there was a lot of different players, different personalities, people all over the world. They could relate to different players, and there was a lot of good players. I mean, compared to today, the competition, it's tougher. It's more players today. More countries are playing today than when we played. If I would do everything all over again, I definitely would do it. But you have to adapt to the tennis who's playing today. It's different when we played. I mean, the guys are playing, they hit the ball harder, but still, I think, you know, the way we played, the way we supported tennis, the way we wanted to win, I think we will adapt to tennis today. It's no problem. But it's changed a lot, the tennis, definitely.
So you see today, even now in this challenge, a couple of Indian players have to do on a wild card. According to you, what it takes to be a complete professional tennis player today? It's a fast-paced game.
I think, for a tennis player today, I mean, you first of all, you have to be able to play on all kind of different surfaces. First of all, you have to be physically in great shape. The most important thing for players today, you have to have a motivation. So you have to set your goals. Like, I want to be the best, I want to achieve these goals. And you have to work hard. I mean, you have to spend a lot of time on the tennis court, you have to spend a lot of time off the court, in the gym, or do other things. But it's a hard work, and if you have that motivation to play and to work hard, I mean, you can set your goals very high. It doesn't mean that you're going to achieve your goals, but you tried anyway to find your way and to be able to become a player. And I think if we were talking about that, me and Vijay, if you have time to play, if the courts are free, if you're a kid, a junior or whatever, go out and practice, go out and play, spend time on the tennis court. Because, I mean, you have to do that to become a really good champion.
So, you mentioned motivation for a modern day player. Now, there's a discourse that is, on the growing importance of a sports psychologist, not just in tennis, but in every sport in modern day. Now, you were someone who stepped back in the game at a rather early age. Firstly, sir, was there a stigma around seeking help at that time? And secondly, how do you think a sports psychologist sort of fits into a tennis player's life who does the modern day circuit?
I think if you start, I mean, I retired very early from tennis when I was 26 years old. Because during that time, like, when I was traveling at the airports, restaurants, hotels, I could never be by myself. There was always, if I stayed in a hotel, it was like hundreds of people in the lobby. I could not do anything. So I felt I was stuck in the way that I didn't really have a life besides tennis. I mean, I love tennis. I mean, nothing take away from that, but I could never have a private life in that kind of way. I think that's why I stepped away from the tennis. Today, tennis has more security in that kind of way. We didn't have any security in that kind of way. People were after us all the time. But today, they're more protected tennis players. And that's important for the sports. Psychologically, it's tough. It's a mental, difficult sports, tennis. I mean, you're by yourself on the court. You have to make all the decisions. Even if you have a team like traveling with you with a lot of different team members, but still you have to hit that tennis ball on the court. You have to make the decision what to do. I mean, if you want to play aggressive or you stay back, or what should I do now? It's 30-all or 30-40. You have to make the right decision, and that's very difficult. But that's you have to learn. Psychologically, if you go to someone to tell you, or I mean, that's important, but he's not going to tell you what you're going to do 30-all, or if you have 30-40 break points. I mean, that's your own decision, and that's why it makes tennis so difficult and so hard. But in a way, it's a great sport. It's one of the biggest sports, and that's why it makes tennis very interesting in that kind of way. Another thing, I don't think you should be allowed coaching, for instance. I think you should find out what to do and not to do on the tennis court. I mean, no one's going to tell you, I mean, you have to do this or that, but so that I don't agree with coaching. I mean, you have to find that decision and if I make the right decision or the wrong decision. But you have to learn that on the tennis court. That's very important.
1 second. Yon, hi. Can you just take us back to the week when you were captaining the likes of Federer, Nadal, Team Europe last year at the Laver Cup during Federer's farewell? And also, do you regret that yourself, Vijay, Jimmy, McEnroe did not have a tournament on those lines when you were playing? Thanks.
You're talking about Labour Cup then? Yeah. I mean, I'm very proud to be the captain of the Team Europe, first of all. It's going to be my last year now in Vancouver. We play in Vancouver in September. It's been six great years. And Macro is the captain for Team World. But for me to be part of today's players, because I have to keep a good relationship with all these European players. But to be around them, it's been a great experience. What they like, what they dislike regarding tennis, tell stories. It's been very memorable and fun things, because these guys it's very interesting. I mean, they are the greatest players in this time, and we played at our time. But to be part of this players, it's been fantastic. I mean, those years, and I have to keep a very close contact with the players. I mean, it's important for me and even for the players, and I've been around the best players in the world, and to spend a week with them every year, it's unbelievable. It's fantastic. I wish we had the same with Jimmy or Mackie and other players too. VJ, it would be fantastic, but we didn't have that possibility, and I'm a little bit sad for that, because I think even during our time would have been a huge thing for us, and people would love to see that. So our Labour Cup will continue for many more years, and I'm sure it will, and the players are very positive to compete and play at Labour Cup. So that's, for me, it's been fantastic.
Maybe it would be nice to start a Sweden Tamil Nadu event on a yearly basis, one away and one at home.
Yes. No, me and Vijay, we talk about a lot of different things, and I mean, for us, the most important is to promote tennis. I mean, we have tennis in our blood, and we want our countries to be successful, to promote tennis and to see players grow up and to be champions and to be great players in both our countries. And that's, I think, for sure, that's our ambition. I mean, it's difficult and it's a long way, and you have a lot of different hurdles to go through. But I mean, like Vijay doing here in India, it's fantastic. And you know, I'm trying to push tennis too in Sweden. We are a smaller country, and but if you look at many years ago, how many Swedish players we had. I mean, it was unbelievable. Today we have one in top 100. I think India doesn't have anyone in top 100, no. So, and then we have to look for the juniors. How, you know, important. How many junior tournaments to? It costs money to sponsor kids, to go out in the world, to play tournaments, and they have to do that. That's very important. And we starting slowly in Sweden to push the kids to go out and play, because tennis is a very expensive sport. Let's face it. It costs a lot of money to travel and play tournaments. So we're on the right track, and I'm sure Vijay is pushing the same limit, same time too. And I think maybe in the future, maybe we both countries hopefully succeed to get some good players in the top in tennis tournaments, and to win tournaments, and maybe in India to have a champion like Vijay. I mean, I think that's, you know, what he did for Indian tennis is unbelievable, and what I did for Swedish tennis. But it's a long way to go, but that's our goals anyway.
I think it's really interesting to know that Sweden doesn't have a player in the top 50. It's interesting to know that Sweden doesn't have a player in the top 50. After someone like him, Mats, Wilander, Stefan Edberg, and then a ton of others who came along, you know, with Anders and Sundström and Bernfors and Nyström and the Davis Cup team that we played against in '87 in the final. You know, it's hard to imagine that they don't have a player in the top 50. So when we look at us, look at ourselves and say we don't have a player in the top 200. So, you know, there are lessons to be learned, and hopefully Bjorn and I can help with doing some cross-country promotion where our juniors can play there, their juniors can come here, do some visits to Europe and back, the Swedish kids to play in our part of the world. Those kinds of things is what Bjorn and I are talking about, and maybe we'll be able to pull it off, because it'll really be good for both. No question, it'll be good for both the juniors. So, sorry, you had a question. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Hello, sir. You obviously had a very prolific career, a lot of highs and some lows as well. So, how are you? I just wanted your initial emotions on reliving those moments again with your traveling with your son and mentoring him, and how are you looking forward to it? Thank you.
I'm very happy to see him play, not all the time. I mean, he has his team, he's doing his things with his coach and everything, but me and my wife, whenever it fits, we like to see him once in a while. I think he doesn't want to see us all the time, you know. Then we get it gets me a little tired, but I love to see him. I mean, it's worse to watch your son or daughter, I mean, to sit on the stands, because you get even more nervous. We were talking about that, me and Vijay, that it feels better when you play yourself, because you have more control. You have more control sitting in the stands watching. But I'm very happy to see him play. I mean, he's very motivated. He wants to become a really good player. He's working really hard on the court and off the court. So, no, I'm very happy to see him. We have a very good relationship. If he has any, sometimes I ask him, if you want to know something, just ask me when it comes to tennis. But he always says, no, I have nothing to ask you about. Thank you, I say. But we have a very good relationship. I mean, he knows what to do and not to do. But it's a long way to go. He's 19 years old. But still, he's very hungry for tennis, to improve his game, to be a top player. And I mean, he has many more years in tennis.
Vijay.
Yeah.
I know the wild card is given to Vogue's son. Apart from being Vogue's son, what did you find in him to give the wild card? What do you think in terms of his game and attitude? Can you explain?
Well, first, I think a young guy like that from Europe, who's doing well, he just won a Futures, and I think that you encourage, like we did with Rafa Nadal way back 25, 30 years ago, when he first came to Chennai, we gave him a wild card, and I think he won the doubles one year as well. That year, 16 years old or something, you know. Sorry, final 1 year. So, you know, everybody thought it's exactly like the way Alcaraz is today, you know, when the guy was coming in. So I think there are lots of these youngsters that we've seen come into the Chennai Open in the past who, the issue here has been that the guys who have gotten the wild cards from abroad over the last 20 years have gone on to do really well, have gone on to make the top 20 in the world. You know, we're kind of still waiting on that one. So, to answer your question, yes, we have given wildcards in the past to foreigners who have come and played, youngsters who have played. There was another, I can't remember, another German kid also came along. I can't remember who it was, but
Bjorn Powell.
Powell, right? Yeah. He came with Boris, yes. A little guy, didn't seem like he was going to do much. Again, he jumped into the top 50. So, you know, I think you're able to see these kinds of things. Which was the year that Kachanov played here in the qualifying? Sorry?
I think it was 16.
Karen Kachanov, right? Yeah. So look at where he is today. I guess he made the semis at the Aussie Open, right? So I think we're looking at these guys who've come and played here, the youngsters, and have all done well. So we honestly like to see, but we need to be also take away from that and inspired by the fact that those guys can do it, we can do it too. That's really the bottom line. Leo's certainly in that category, and so it made complete sense and the other 2 went to Ram and Praj.
Amongst the girls also, we had Ratu Kanu and Prabhatova, who are now in the top 50, who did great in India.
Exactly. I think this is a lucky break for all these foreigners. And it goes all the way back to the 70s when Nastasi came here and Metzaveli and all these guys came. And they got better. Thankfully, we got better with them. You know? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, no.
All those guys came when they were much younger. They played. Everyone improved when they came to India. We were abroad trying to get better, you know? It's a tougher call. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Vijay, hi. Away from the challenges, 2023 WTA calendar does not have an event in Chennai. So where are we with an ATP event as well as a WTA 250 event in 2024 perhaps?
You looked up the calendar before we came to this press conference, right? Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. So it's work in progress, as I've said. Okay. So I'm still hoping to get our WTA back in September, hopefully. I think that's very important for our girls, and certainly working very hard to see if we can get something back for the ATP 250. Now the problem with ATP 250 is that we need to do it. We can only have January, February. That's all we have. And you know what the calendar is. You know, if you leave January, February, it's the heat and then it's the rain, and then the calendar ends. So we got a very small window to be able to do it, and I truly appreciate what our government is doing because they have just been behind us to try to get this event, and I'm working extra hard to try to get it. Hopefully, during my tenure as at TNTA, we're still able to get one back. Yeah.
And I think this tournament is a really good players are playing.
Yeah.
It's a tough tournament. I mean, you're talking about 250. Okay, that's great if that happened. But this week you're going to see a lot of good tennis, and you know, good players are competing. So don't forget that.
Every round. Every round.
Every round,
is
yes.
tough. Yeah, exactly. Anyone else? We're good? Anything else? Yes, go ahead.
Last 2 questions.
Yeah.
Amritraj, Bob and Connors, they were known as the APC of tennis. I'm really happy to see both of you over here, and I wish Connors was here. You know.
Thank you. It's not Connors is not short of an invitation. We've invited him a lot. Both of us have done it together, actually. Yeah.
Hopefully next time.
We'll get him to come. Thank you.
Now the score is 2-2. Why don't we have a fun match, you know, and really promote tennis?
I told him we should play, but he said no, don't play. I'm joking.
I'm sure the stadium will be full.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Really
wish you all the best, and for your son also.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much, everyone. Most importantly, thank you to our TNTA group. Just put on the best shows constantly. You guys are the heart and soul of the Tennis Association here. So thank you guys so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, coming out to the tennis, right? All the experience comes out. Yeah.
Okay. Island and Monte Carlo.
Okay.
அவங்க பசங்களுக்கு சார் சார் அப்படியே மைக் பைட் போட போறாங்க மைக் பைட் போட போறாங்க நம்ம அவங்க தான் தெரியும் கொஸ்டின் கேட்பாங்க நம்ம வீடியோ அது பிரிண்ட் மீடியா கொஸ்டின்ஸ் அதெல்லாம் நம்ம இது இல்லை சார் அதே போதும் சார் உங்களுக்கு மைக் பைட் ஹரி ஹரி நம்ம டீம் என்ன பண்றாங்க பாத்துக்கோ கொஞ்சம் கோஆர்டினேட் பண்ணிக்கோ
A team, B team, C team.
பாய் பாய் தமிழர் ஆகும் எங்க தமிழ் நியூஸ் இல்லாங்க தமிழ் பைட் யார் பேச அவர் பேச மாட்டாங்க இவரு அமிர்தராஜா பேசுறாரு தமிழ்நாட்டில் நியூஸ் தமிழ்
Hello.
இது கொடுங்க டான்ஸ் உங்கள் கட்டாய சேர்த்து எனக்கு கொடுங்க ப்ளே பண்ணுங்க அதுதான் தமிழ் பைக்கு சார்
தமிழ் ராணி தமிழ் பைக் தமிழ் பைக்
சார் இனி எங்க இது என்ன கட்டி வச்சாங்க சேர் தான் காலி ஆகுது கொண்டு போய் கட்டி வச்சுங்க ஐயோ ஐயோ யாரு வானா போ சாரே புது பிளேயர்னா கூட ஏதாவது எடுப்பாங்க பழைய பிளேயர் எதுவும் எடுக்க மாட்டாங்க